Time is about the time I sent someone to prison. Yeah. Well, I came out of the car, I followed this boy. That's when everything happened. 2 seconds. I could map out his outline, but his face, genuinely, I was not fixated on that. So my friend turned around. So obviously she got a better look at him. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a story time. I remember this a few days ago and I was just like, I've been through things in this life. So this story time is about the time when I was in Gambia and I sent someone to prison. Yeah. So let me just go straight into the story time. So I was still in the Gambia when all of this happened. So let me just go back a bit. So before, I was living in an area that was not the safest. So my housemate and I were looking for a house to live in. And the place we were in, the house we were living in, we needed to move out of that place like ASAP. But the houses we were seeing were just not it. And our budget was also very, very tight. And, you know, we were in need of a place desperately. So around the time that we found this house, we knew the area was not the safest. I mean, even when we went, after we had moved in, actually, a friend of ours was not telling us, oh, this place is not the safest, especially since both of you are girls, blah, blah, blah. I've even forgotten the name of that place. Let me remember. I can't even remember the name of the place. Let me even ask. So the area that I was staying in was Kanifing South. If you live in Gambia, you know that place is wild. I was staying in Kanifing. Oh, Lord. It's not easy to be broke. So while I was still in Kanifing, if you know Kanifing, especially that side, you know that it's very indigenous to the people. Like, you don't see a lot of foreigners, and as you would have it, I happen to be a foreigner. So, well, I mean, there are a few foreigners there, Sha, but it's not like the ideal place that students would live in. So while I was in Kanifing, we got the house in Kanifing and then we were staying. I think we stayed there a few months before the whole incident happened. So the day that this happened, so my housemate and I, we were actually going for a program at night. And prior to that, like, we had been going for this program for like a few days. And this particular day, I don't know why it was any different, but we're actually going for a church program. You see how the devil works. We're going for a church program. So while we were there, while we were preparing to go, I was on the phone, right? So I was on the phone, and then before we left the house, I was on the phone, and then we stepped out of the house. We're actually looking for a cab, but a cab, usually the way that house is situated, let me just describe. On the other side of the road, there are some guys that usually stay there at night, and this was around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. There are usually some guys that sit outside and they drink attire. And attire is like it's a tea that they take with a lot of sugar. So at night, they really come out to drink that. Like people, they come out to drink that. So there were a few people outside, and where the house was actually situated, there's like a taxi park there. So usually there are usually taxis there. So you should just come out, you get one and you move. But this particular night, there was none there. So we're just trying to come out of our street to the main street where we'd be able to get a taxi. Where we were going actually was like less than 7 if we were driving, but if we walked, it was like probably 10-15 minutes. And we didn't want to walk. We wanted to take a cab because it was like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So we came out of the house And when we came out of the house, we waited a bit. There are obviously no cars moving. And then we tried to get to the main road. So we're walking. While we were walking, that's when everything happened. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. That's why we're walking. Mind you, like I said, I was on the phone. So I was on the phone, I was talking to somebody. And usually I'm the kind of person that when I walk on the road, once I walk a bit, I always look back. I don't know why I do that, but I shall do it. So when we came out of the gate of the house, I looked back. There was nobody. There was nobody. I looked back. There was nobody. I continued with my conversation. Normally, when I go out at night, you don't see me pressing my phone anyhow because I don't want somebody to tear me slap and collect my phone. I don't want anybody to tear me slap and collect my phone. As the devil will have it, let me say, that's what happened to me. So I walked a bit, and the only reason I was on the phone actually was because I knew we wanted to get a cab, 1, and 2, I was not alone. So I was on the phone. Normally I would tell the person, I'll call you back later, or when I get home, I will call you back. But I just continued with my conversation. And at that time, I was using a HTC phone, HTC Desire. May that phone rest in peace. So we now walked a bit. From our house to like the main street, it really is not far. So we're walking as we didn't see a cab now. So, and me, I was still on the phone, kicking, kakai, laughing. That's how we eventually saw a taxi, and we stopped the taxi. And, my friend got in front. I entered the back. This happened in like 2 seconds. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I don't even know where this boy came out from. He just came out from nowhere. And because I was distracted, obviously, with my phone, I didn't look back again. So I would have seen somebody coming and I'll just like kept my phone in front of me. Like, when like somebody, you're not trusting someone's movements. You use your head, sharp, sharp, sharp. As my friend entered the cab, I opened the door. I just sat down. Next thing I felt was hands on my phone. That's how they grabbed my phone. This guy held my phone. In my mind, I'm just like, what is happening right now? It took like more than a few seconds for me to process that someone was legit trying to steal from me. Time, because I had not closed my door, the driver was just, he was very focused on the driving. My friend had entered. Nobody knew that I was at the back, struggling with my phone for like a few seconds. You guys, till tomorrow, it's still so funny. I was at the back. This guy he was now punching me here, punching me, and he was trying to get a hold of my phone. And me, I was still struggling. This was happening for like 15 seconds. I don't know. In that moment, when something traumatic is happening or has happened, you can't react immediately. And that was what was happening to me. I couldn't even react and be like, oh my God, or scream. I couldn't even react in that moment. It was so funny. I think I let out a cry. I was like, leave me alone. Before the driver turned, my friend turned, and she was like, they want to fap Nancy's phone. They want to fap Nancy's phone. She just turned around. I think, thinking about it now, there's so many things that we could have done differently. But like I said, something traumatic was happening. Nobody was thinking. She turned around from the front seat, and then she now turned and was now trying to hit him to let go of my phone. I think the smart thing to do would have been open the door. Like, there's 3 of us now. He can't exactly fight off 3 of us. Or at least if she gained more grounds, he would not be able to, because let me not even say what was in my mind. If I had caught that boy that day, I would have forgotten bottle on his head. But that's not the point. We don't support violence. So she turned around and then she was punching, trying to hit him. He did not even send her. That boy, he did not even send her. And my phone was in a pouch. It was in a pouch. So where he was able to gain more grounds over me was when the phone slipped out of the pouch a bit. For a few seconds, while we were still struggling for my phone, I still, like the way I held the phone, I was still holding on to the phone in the pouch. But he now had more grounds when the phone slipped out, and then he was holding more of the phone as opposed to holding the phone and the pouch. So that's where he won, and then he was able to get the phone eventually. So when he got the phone, the driver was just there looking. I'm just like, sir, what's it? But really, I don't blame him. He just like all of us, we're all just. So he got the phone, he ran off, and yeah, that was basically it. When he ran off, you guys, I came out of the car, I followed this boy. I say, this is my phone. This is my phone. I'm not letting it go. I said, this is my phone. I'm not letting it go. No way. You guys, that's how I followed though. I followed this boy. I said, it's a lie. My phone is not going anywhere. I just said that if I call my father to tell him that they have found my phone, say, that's your business. You need to learn how to live without a phone. I just know that this battle, I must win it. That's why the guy ran. Besides, I came out too. I was holding my power bank and my phone. I just threw my power bank on the floor and I ran. That was when I was now shouting, thief, thief. And I think people now started like popping their heads a bit. And when I shouted that thief, like my voice was loud. And it was at night, so everybody's inside the house. You will hear me. You will hear me from like the end of this street to this end. I was loud. I was very loud. I shouted, thief. It was later on that my friends were now telling me I should have said sachet. I'm just like, really? This medicine after death. Anyhow, so that's how he now entered one dark street, and then he entered somebody's compound, and yeah, that was how I lost him. That's when everybody now started coming out. I'm just like, So when I was shouting thief at the beginning of the street, people did not hear me. It's not that he has entered compound, me to have. It was just so annoying. Like I was so upset. When he entered the street, that's when I started panicking. I don't think I cried in this time. Like in that time, I was just pissed. I was just like, wait, what just happened to me? What just happened? So he entered the street, people started coming out, and obviously I don't speak Wolof, so obviously they were speaking Wolof, and I obviously don't understand Wolof. So, I'm just like, and the funny thing is everybody knew who did that because apparently he lived on that street and he's a well-known thief and everybody there knows. So nobody told me anything, but everybody was just like, oh, they don't, like, hey, sorry, sister. I'm like, make una come on for you for a deck per se. As I am like this, my blood is hot. That's how we did. I was just so upset. Like, the cab guy left, my friend came back. Very crazy stuff. So eventually, like while I was still trying to process like where he could have possibly gone into, some guy now walked up to us and he was like, oh, he knows us, that he has seen us around. In my mind, I'm just like, is this the time and place for this? Like, bruh, they just found my phone. I'm not in the mood for pleasantries. Are you whining me? The guy was just like, oh, he has seen us before. He knows where we live. He spoke about the house where we lived in. And honestly, I just thank God that I was not alone. If not, I would have just ignored that guy because it's not his matter that was doing me in that moment. He was talking to us in English, obviously. And then he was like, oh, that we should go and report it to the police. Let's just have that. Let us just have it that we actually reported it in case anything extra comes out of the case. So it's not a thing of, oh, you didn't report to the police. What do you want us to do? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I understood where he was coming from. I was barely speaking at this point. My friend was the one responding because in my mind, I'm just like, what's this? My village people? Did they find me here? Wow. I was not like... So when he was now talking about, oh, don't worry, he'll help me get my phone, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, he just genuinely seemed like he wanted to help. So I was just like, let him take us to the police station. And there was a police station right around the corner. So it was just like, back. And then we went to the police station. We went there, wrote down my statements. And yeah, that was it basically. And... he collected my friend's number. He was like, oh, he would be able to communicate. So he'll be able to communicate with us if anything came up. This happened, like I said, around 10, 11 p.m. or maybe 12, one of them. Sure, from 10 to 12, this happened. And we're obviously going for a program, so we just decided to still go. What can we do? So we eventually went, but obviously my mind was not there. My mind was on the fact that they just popped my phone. I don't know. Like, I can't remember crying. Maybe I did when I got there. Maybe. I don't know, but I don't think I cried. But I know in my heart I was sad that I was going to be phoneless. So, went for the program, came back home. Then in the morning, I think like around 11:10, the guy, I think we should call him Tony. The Tony guy called us and told us that they had got the guy that stole my phone. I was just like, huh? Really? That was quick. And I don't know the events surrounding his being caught, but I'm grateful for whatever it is that happened because I got my phone back. I'm not supposed to, you guys just stick around for the mini gist. So he called and he was like, they got the guy that stole the phone, but the thing is, he has already sold my phone. I'm just like, this is 11 a.m. How is my phone already gone? I was happy. At the same time, I was like confused. Then he was like, oh, he's going to come to the house. He had a car. He was like, he's going to come to the house and he's going to pick us so we can go to the police station, blah, blah, blah. And then, so eventually we did. And on that day, I don't know if it was that day, but I think it was that day. I'm not sure. It was on that day he called me that he knew, either he knew the person or they had caught him. I think it was they had caught him and he's on his way to the police station or something like that. When I got to the police station, I'm not sure if it was that day I was able to identify him or the next day, but either that day or the next day, but I was asked to identify the person who stole my phone. So they kept him and I in the same room, just see how scatter Africa and their things are. Like, what if this guy just literally just jumped up and tried to strangle me? Like, this is me, this is him. Like, come on. There's just no demarcation. The Tony guy was there, my housemate was there, I was there. So let me just say this, that while we were struggling for my phone, it was dark. Like where we had actually stopped the cab, it was kind of dark. I didn't make out his face. And the thing is, in that time I was struggling for my phone. I'm not fixated on his face. I could map out his outline, but his face, genuinely, I was not fixated on that. So my friend turned around. So obviously she got a better look at him. So, and the funny thing is she recognized him because a few weeks ago he had followed her and she said she was very scared, which was so funny. She was like, she recognized this guy that he had followed her one time, that she was like, she walked very, very fast. I'm like, this guy is mad. So when it was time to identify, like a part of me was like, am I sure? Am I sure? My friend was like, guy, me, I'm sure. If you're not sure, this is the person that I saw. I'm just like, if you're sure, then I trust your judgment. Like, so eventually I was like, yes, this is the person. They're like, are you sure? This and that. You know how Africa and their way of trying to intimidate you. And I'm just like, he's the person. This is the person. So that's how we're able to, we went and, after we identified him, so they told me that they would get my phone back, that he had already sold my phone for, he wanted to sell my phone for about $6,000. It was like $6,000 he wanted to sell it for. And I think he had already gotten like 4,000. So it was remaining like 2,000 something. He had gotten like 4,000 something. It was remaining like, wanted to sell like 6,600. That's how much he wanted to sell my phone. So it was just mad. So they told me that they would get my phone back, that he's willing to cooperate. And, they were not telling me that this same guy stole a girl's laptop like 2 or 3 days before my own phone. I'm just like, my own phone is the only one that they can get because, the girl's laptop is long gone. Just like, thank you, Jesus. So he decided to cooperate with the person that he sold the phone to. That one came and was like, he doesn't want anything to do with the case, that he didn't know the phone was stolen. I'm like, bro, cap. Complete cap. Let's just not talk about that, Sha. He was like, he's going to return my phone back, blah, blah, blah. All this time, when he came to the police station, I was invited again, the guy that brought the phone. So when they showed me my phone, asked me to identify it, like I was just so happy, like my baby is here. I was like, my baby is here. I was like, yes, this is my phone. And then he was not like, oh, he's sorry, he didn't know the phone was stolen. I'm just like, oh God, come on from my front. This lies, keep it in your pocket. So, they now told me after the guy left that they can't give me my phone yet. I was just like, that is evidence. Evidence? So they told me my phone is evidence and they will not be able to release it. So, all this was going back and forth. So after I identified my phone, I think they called me back another time and they asked me if I wanted to open a case and take the case to court. Left from me, like with what I already knew with the event of my friend, him following her, him being in the same area as me, the girl's laptop that was stolen, and also my own case. And apparently there was a case that probably allowed him to get caught, but I don't know about that. I don't even know the situation surrounding that. I'm not sure. So they asked me if I wanted to take it to court. And the Tony guy was with me, and then he was really pleading with me. This thing we do in this part of the world, the part of the world where I'm from it's just mad. He begged and begged. He was like, I should, be my brother's keeper, that I should not be, that I should just allow the matter to go since I've gotten my phone, blah. I was really mad at him. I won't even lie, because the things he was now saying was now annoying me. So what's the point of doing all this if we're not going to remove somebody like this? Because he did it to me. The next person he's going to do it to is most likely going to be somebody that is unknowing or that is a foreigner. And like, he was now really starting to annoy me. And then, everybody's just like, oh, whatever decision you want to make, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I was just like, okay, fine. You know what? That's, nothing, that if anything of my misses is him, I'm coming to hold, blah, blah. I don't even know. I can't even remember. But I was just like, yeah, we're not going to take it to court. They were like, well, whatever you say, but we. So I'm just like, why did these people not ask me? They're like, well, we're taking the case to court, and your phone is going to remain in our custody until then. I was just like, so why do people not ask me? If without me, you were still going to have a case. So eventually, this thing actually went to court. And the reason it went to court was because my phone was the only evidence they had. And apparently, when the people in charge of like the whole investigation, like, they've been trying to get this boy, and I'm just like, well, what God cannot do does not exist. So they're like, your phone is evidence, girl. We're going to court. I was just like, oh God. Now so I reached court for Gambia. Now so I waka go. That's how we got to court. And, they told me I had to be there in case he said he was not guilty. I would have to take this stand. I'm just like, how this one concern me now? Now, when the reality came, I was just like, I don't want to allow. So he eventually said he was guilty. He did go to prison. And for a bit, he went to prison. And it was in court that they released my phone. The judge said they should release my phone back to me, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, thank you, Jesus. Like, this went on for like, from the time my phone was stolen to the court case was like a week. So for the whole week, I didn't have my phone. It was in police custody until we got to court and they told them to release my phone. So I was just like, my baby. So eventually, he was in prison for less than a year though. Not long, but he did go to prison. I think 7 or 8 months, one of them. Eventually, he came out. We used to see, like, while I was still in the area. I'm sure everybody would just be like, that's the girl that sent him to prison. I'm just like, that's not me, but okay, I'll take it. So it was just funny. He would see, like, we would pass each other, and it's just like, you can't try me. If you try me in a prison, you go again. Hey, don't leave me. I'm just a clown. It was just a very funny event. And the Tony guy and my housemate and me, we eventually became like really cool. He had like a shop very close to the house. I'd always go and say hello. Like, he was such a tremendous help. He would leave his shop. He would come and take us to the police station. And, yeah. Some very, very nice Gambian people. In fact, they're generally nice people in Gambia. So that guy, I forget. I was very thankful for him because How many people's phone in that country gets stolen? If you live in Gambia, you know. How many people's phones have been stolen and they never got it back? There's even another story time of this, my same friend, of when they stole her phone in my house. I've really been through it, you guys. I've really been through it. So, and she never got her phone back. So I'm just one of the very lucky few. And then the phone went on to die like a few years after that. Rude. The phone died like a few years after that. But yeah, so that's the story of how, somebody went to prison because they stole my phone. Yeah, it was just a funny story. Like the way the whole thing just escalated. It's just like, mad. It was like content. But yeah, so basically that's the story time. And if you guys want to hear more story times or, just anything, if you have anything that you want me to talk about, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye. I am in no hurry to forget about this story anytime soon. It was just thinking about it now. It's only interesting because the outcome for me was very good. If I didn't get my phone back, obviously, I don't think I'll be telling this story time. Just funny is the audacity for me, for him to just come and be on top of my phone. You're fighting me. Very mannerless boy, you. But it's okay. Yeah, thank you for watching.